The rulebook doesn't say you have to tackle this journey of life alone. These are the times I make those connections with others, so we can all take a look back while we all move forward. This is the Dependent Independent Podcast. Minisode. Hey there, subscribers. Thank you for downloading and listening to Minisode 53 and a half of the Dependent Independent Podcast. I'm your host, Nick G. This is a podcast about making connections, looking back while moving forward. In these minisodes, I get my subscribers caught up on what they missed in our last episode, what I've been up to since we posted our last episode, and what you can anticipate in future episodes. If you're new to this show and this is the first time you came across it, subscribe on any podcast app on iOS or Android. I like iTunes and Overcast. Overcast is awesome on the iPhone. You can follow us on our website at thedependentindependent.com. The link is in our show notes. You can stream the show, watch these minisodes because we record them for YouTube, and you can check out my blog. We record these minisodes and we record regular episodes and post them on midnight every Monday night. So you can get content from me every week on your podcast player. The minisodes are posted about 2 days after we record it. Weird thing is I try to get my kids. See, my wife is out of town or helping her sister out of town this week, spending some personal time with her. And I try to get my kids to do the beginning part of this show. Maybe I'll put it on the end, but they weren't as cooperative as I thought they were going to be. I know it's late in the night, and unfortunately, they will not be joining me. So I'm going to do just a quick minisode tonight so we can get this thing going, because being that my wife's out, I'm parenting, super parenting. My wife's probably going to be super impressed of the feedback she gets from the kids. And speaking of feedback, if you listen to the episode 53 with Annette Bone from Dancepreneuring Studios podcast, I put a really cool post on my website on the blog page at thedependentindependent.com/blog, and you can check that out. We put blogs up I put blogs up probably after every show. It's awesome, actually. Blogging is cool. I mean, I'm sure other podcasters are listening to this show or you're watching this on YouTube. And blogging is, I guess I used to use Facebook for that, kind of these cathartic, expressive paragraphs I put on there. But I love the fact I can reflect on what I do in these minisodes. You can check us out on YouTube at the dependentindependent.com or Dependent Independent podcast page. I'm just promoting the website like crazy. Or you can follow us on Facebook at the Dependent Independent Podcast Facebook page. But if you do go to our website, thedependentindependent.com, that's where you can find all links to all the ways you can follow me, check out my content. We have an enormous library of episodes. This is a 200-episode podcast that you see on the sign there. I don't really talk about that during my minisodes, but this is Minisode 53 and a half, so let's get started. It is, we are on the precipice of the storm of the century. If you live in the Northeast, there is a nor'easter and another storm going to be merging and dumping like supposedly 2 feet of snow. My work is canceled tomorrow, which is awesome. I have the car set up, windshield wipers up, snowblower is gassed. We have shovels that work. Ski boots or snow boots are in the garage, and we're ready to start shoveling as soon as that happens. Hopefully my system will work. The car is gassed up, plenty of cash in my wallet, because every time something like this happens, people anticipate the fact that the world's going to end. And the irony is that I didn't buy any milk or bread because the kids don't drink milk. I'm the only one who does, and we don't have a lot of bread in the house. So I think we're okay with frozen soup and defrosting if our electricity goes out, but I highly doubt it. So I was saying before, our episode 53 with Annette Bone, I love the fact that when I have people on the show, and I talked about in my blog post after that, the power of conversation, there is nothing, even though we have all these things like social media and we can direct message people on Twitter and Facebook, there's nothing cooler than being able to talk to someone in person or on the phone. And I make it a point that anytime I have people on the show and I'm courting some co-hosts to come on the show, it's always important that we go through that milestone of actually having a conversation in person. How do we say that? Either a Skype call that we have or a phone call, because I don't like going into my podcast cold. You want to hear a conversation, a compelling conversation on a topic that I'm sure you can relate with. Check out our back catalog and look at the descriptions. There's tons of topics we cover on this show in this journey to 200. But it's so important that I'm able to get to know those people very quickly on my show because I've talked to them prior. And Annette and I had been in conversations for quite some time. I was so excited to have her on the show. She was amazing. I don't think she put in a lot of her social media posts. that she wasn't expecting us to talk about what we talked about. And the cool thing is I got to know a side of her that she doesn't share on her shows. And if you're a fan of the Dance Preparing podcast and you listen to this show and you want to learn more about Annette, you should check out my show. It's really awesome. I didn't realize how many things Annette and I have in common of our past, how we were parented, the feedback and criticism we got, and how we processed that and how it shaped who we are. And I thought it was awesome. I hope Annette is on my show again. I hate the fact she lives in LA and I can't, walk up the street and have a coffee with her. But I know she'll be in the neighborhood when the Mid-Atlantic Podcast Convention comes down to South Jersey again. That's run by Joe Parter of the Dreamers podcast. And he's also an influencer in our world. And I'm glad that when she comes down, we're probably going to grab dinner. And I'd love for her to meet my family and my daughter, who's a dancer. So that was episode 53. Since I last posted that, there's been a lot of shit going on in my life. Crazy thing is, this week is my last week at my job, and I've talked about it on previous episodes that I quit my job and I have a new job starting. And the fact that the snow is coming tomorrow is cutting down that last few days that I have with my team. And I'm excited for a new job, but one of the hardest things was saying goodbye to a team that I worked so hard to build, and not just so much putting people together because I only hired a few of them. It's really about creating an environment where we can be productive and have fun and care about each other. And I truly love these people. I don't use that word lightly. I care about these people, and I will stay in touch with these people. It's weird, though. There's always people when they leave a job, they send an email out and they say farewell, and here's my email address, stay in touch. And I'm not going to say that, it's easy to stay in touch with people I don't touch at all at work or stay in touch with. So there's that 15 to 20 people that I'm going to connect with you guys on Facebook, get connected so we can talk as much as possible. And I can see what you're doing around the holidays, what I'm doing around the holidays, what's going on with my podcast. Maybe I'll have you guys on my show and share and get through really interesting topics. So I am preparing for the snow tomorrow. I mentioned before that my wife is out of town, and this past weekend was one of the first times in a long time that she went away, or at least wasn't home, and I was with the kids. And she did an amazing job kind of diagramming on the refrigerator where I had to be, who was picking up the kids, and I think I'm doing okay. I napped a little bit in between a couple times, and that's what dads do. And it wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be, but I can definitely say that after doing that and understanding that when I'm at work and I come home and I do my whole cleaning ritual, that all between that time, my wife is doing everything possible to keep the kids engaged, motivated, taking them to practice, taking them to dance practice, making sure they do their homework. The kids are getting older. They're getting a little bit more self-sufficient. But I think my wife is a trooper. No wonder why she's exhausted all the time. I'm so glad she's enjoying herself this past weekend with her sister. And unfortunately, due to the snow, she's stuck. She's actually stuck in California. So I have one more day at home with the kids. Luckily, we have off tomorrow, so we're just going to go out, play in the snow. My son asks me, "Hey, Dad, can I help you with the can I help you shovel snow?" And I said, "Well, you don't have to help me. You just do it." And he's going to be front row and center with his snow boots on outside tomorrow with a shovel, cleaning up the snow. And I don't know if it's going to be like one of those types of snow where it just like snows a little bit every hour. I wish it would just dump it on us and we can start shoveling. The worst is shoveling the snow and then having to shovel it again. And that's a real pain in the butt. So that's what I've been up to. I'd love to tell you more, but I'm currently employed and I can't talk about work. It's kind of against the policy handbook, but I'd love to share some things with you. Maybe at my new job, I'll share some of my experiences, things I've learned that I've applied in my ever quest to connect with others, to build this TDI community we started just 2 years ago, and what you can anticipate in future episodes. I promoted this gentleman. His name's Chris Galluccio. Chris's wife, this is the small world we live in, Chris's wife actually teaches with my wife, and I promoted her before. She's got, her name's Brianna. She's got a side business outside of teaching called Bun in the Oven, where she makes homemade cinnamon buns. I think in a past episode, please go in the library and check it out. I even talked about them, the best I can do to promote them. But cool thing about Chris is I had an opportunity to connect with him at a local bar. Like I said, I want to meet him before I have him on the show. And the cool thing about having him on the show, and we're going to record the show this week and it'll post next Monday at midnight, he is an author. He wrote a book about a healthy marriage. And one of the topics we're going to talk about is what is a good marriage. Like, I think he said it out loud at the bar, And I looked at him and said, well, what is a good marriage? And then he says, I don't know. Like, what's a really good marriage? We know what we want to have happen in our marriages, but what really makes it good? And I think it's going to be awesome to be able to not only talk to him about his book, and I need to finish it between now and Friday of this week when I'm officially unemployed because I'm taking 2 days off. And we'll record the show, but I want my audience to get to know him as an author. But he's also a really awesome photographer. He's one of these creative souls that I'm glad I connected with, and I'm glad he's going to be part of this co-hosting community, and I'm super excited to have him on the show. I'm anxious to have him on the show. There's other folks we're going to have on the show. Corey Stewart is from the Unpopular Culture podcast. She's helping me doing some graphic design for the Are You Listening? I Think You Should page that we're going to put on our website, and we're going to post all images and links to all the podcasts we started promoting since we started that segment. And I'm excited. She's really talented. She does like hand-drawn text letter-ish stuff, and I'm really, really excited to see her final product. And that's going to be on there. It's going to change the whole mood of that page. I like our pages to look a little bit different. I love your feedback too on the heels of episode 53. So you can go and connect with me rather than emailing me at thedependentindependent@gmail.com, and I dare you can connect with me directly through our website. So you can go to the Contact Us page or Contact Me page, put your information in, put your email, and I promise I'll get back to you. We still have shirts from the 50th. I only have a couple left. I've been sending those out left and right. The hashtag 2 years to the day, which we used on our 2-year anniversary on episode 50 back in January. And I'm going to give them away because they're not doing me any good sitting in a box, where we have our logo on the back, which was silk screened by Rodeo Robot in town here in Hamilton. Mike did all our silk screening for the event, and it's got hashtag 2 year to the day up front. I could sell them on my website, but I'm not ready to. I designed my website, so I'm not ready to throw a store on there. Eventually, we'll start selling swag. But that basically is a nutshell of this mini-sode, and I think I'm doing my best to make these a little bit shorter so you can just get a little bit on your earbuds on the way to work on the Tuesdays that they post on the Monday midnight the night before. You can check us out everywhere on the internet. Remember, at the dependentindependent.com website, where you can stream the show, watch these YouTube videos. We have links directly on that, and you can follow my blog. You can contact me through the website. You can follow us and listen to the show on any podcast app on the interwebs. Please rate the show. I think it's awesome. I love feedback. Tell me what you think. If you don't like it, tell me what you think. But it helps us move our categories up or our popularity on iTunes. And I don't do this because I don't want anyone to listen. I do this because I want to impact a lot of people and share things and just have a conversation that you can listen to and make connections and do what this podcast is all about. This is mini-sode 53.5 of the Dependent Independent podcast. Check the show notes to find everything about the podcast, about me, about YouTube, all that stuff. Thank you for subscribing, and thank you for listening, and I am out.
Hey there, subscribers. Thank you for listening.
No, chill. Slow down.
You hit the button!
We gotta chill out. We gotta wait for prep, because I play a whole intro into this. And then we jump in.
What?
And then you
it's
ready
like
to go. Yeah, right? And then I sync up the audio, and then we can be on the show.
Can we go?
Don't disappoint me.